brothers who enlighten us more about vocation. It has been a word in common, vocation, but today we are delighted to have them that are going to tell us more about vocation. And this program is proudly sponsored by Queen of Apostles Philosophy Center, Ginger. Brothers, you're most welcome to this panel. I'll start with you, brother. Can you please introduce your name to us, bro?
Thank you so much, my dear viewers and my dear presenters. My name is Guido Irwa. I come from the Komboni congregation of the Heart of Jesus. As you have said, we are going to talk about vocation. Maybe the introduction goes on to the next of the presenters. Thank you so much.
We are very happy to have a Komboni missionary here. He's going to tell us about the word vocation, what it means. Brother, you're most welcome.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon on Discerning Online TV. My name is called me Herbert Afayo from Declaration Missionaries, Sons of Mother Heart of Mary.
Herbert Afayo from Declaration Missionaries, you're most welcome to this PCG Online TV. Brother, you're most welcome to this session.
Yes, brother, thank you. I'm so happy to be hosted by PCG Online TV to talk about this good topic, vocation. My name is Afayo Alfred from the Missionaries of the Congregation of Holy Cross.
Our dear viewers, we are very covered with Holy Cross, Claretian missionaries, and Komboni missionaries. They are going to tell us how vocation is and how it comes for a person to get a vocation. So, brother, you can tell us about that vocation we've been hearing all the day long.
Thank you so much. Vocation comes from a Latin word vocare, which means to call. So vocation can mean a calling or a strong inclination towards a particular profession, occupation, or a career that feels deeply fulfilling. So it is a feeling of sense of purpose. As I said, from the Latin word vocare. So to call, so where you are being called to, that's a sense of purpose where you are going to find yourself very more conversant area, very more conversant field that you can work upon. It is more than just a job or a career. It's just a call. So you are being called to do what you love most. So thank you so much.
It is a very good pleasure to hear the word, a Latin word vocare. Very good, and a sense of purpose.
Yes. Now, just as my brother said vocare, he said that there are very many purposes. I want also to a bit more, much more expand where he must have missed. Now, to be like in vocations, like we have various types of vocation. It's not just that you must have only one vocation. All of us should move towards one thing. There are around over three. There are mainly around, we can say that there are around three types of vocation. One, there is vocation to religious life. This is whereby young men and young ladies consecrate themselves to the service of God. Why do they do this? They are living most of their part of life. They are renouncing the joy of this world in order to consecrate themselves, because they are returning to the Master who called them, who told them before. That is Jeremiah chapter 1 verses 5. Before you were born, I knew you. So they are trying to go to answer this God. So they are trying to go to meet God and serve God in that purpose. And also we can see Matthew chapter 19 verses 29 tells them to renounce the things so that they can follow the Master. Then you have also the second type of vocation that I can talk about. That is vocation to marriage life. People always misinterpret or misunderstand vocation as its only things to do with the religious life. But vocation is wide, it goes even up to marriage life, even the married, because one of the first commandments we can meet in the Bible is Genesis chapter 2 verses 24. Tells us this is why a man and a woman will leave their parent to come together to make one family. So by that you are coming up to make one big family. That is vocation. So you should love your wife. A man should love the wife. By you loving your wife, you must still maintain chastity, and you must be faithful to your wife. That is Ephesians chapter 5 verses 25. It commands us, husband, love your wife, just as Christ who offered himself to us, to the church, and loved. So even them, that's also another vocation. And then we have also another vocation, single life. There are those ones who say that no, I cannot be in religious life and I cannot be in married life. And then specifically they be in that vocation to single life. They be single in order that, because St. Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians 7 that it's better for those ones who don't have responsibilities with family, they can serve Christ very well. That's my view according to vocation.
Thank you, Mr. Afayo. He has brought a very good one. Even marriage is vocation, and single life is also vocation. Brother, you can also...
Okay, to pick from where my brother left, to just add on our vocation, there's also what we call the primary vocation, whereby the universal call from God, regardless of your status, whereby God calls each and every one of us for a purpose. All along we know God created us to know Him, to love Him, to serve Him, and to unite with Him in happiness in heaven. So vocation, we have been saying it's a call. It is a call from God. It is more than a personal ambition or a personal desire. It's a call from God. We can refer to the book of Prophet Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 5, whereby Isaiah says that God tells Isaiah that before I formed you, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. So it is an explanation that is a manifestation that the call of the call of Jeremiah was from God, to not from him, to not his ambition to rule the people of God. However, it was a call from God. Therefore, vocation is a call from God. And also in the Bible, we can see in the Acts chapter 9 about the call of St. Paul, whereby the Damascus experience, it was not out of his will, it was out of God. So this vocation also requires a response from the one who is called, because we know God praises our free will. Yeah, God gives us that free will to choose between good, to say yes, to say no. So this vocation entirely requires a response from the one who is called. I can give an example, the call of Prophet Isaiah, that's chapter 6, verse 8, whereby God says, "For whom shall I send?" Isaiah responds, "Here I am, Lord, send me." And also in the whole gospel, according to Luke chapter 1, verse 38, the response of Mother Mary, whereby it says, "Behold, I am the servant of the Lord, be done to me according to your will." So this vocation, when God calls you, expects a response from you, either yes or no, because He treasures your human freedom. And also vocation, God calls us for a purpose to serve others and to serve Him. Yeah. So that's why Jesus tells His disciples in Matthew chapter 28, verses 19 to 20, says, "I'm sending you, make disciples of all nations." So God calls us for a purpose, for a mission, to serve others and also to serve Him. That's what I can say. I don't vocation.
Thank you, Herbert, for your explanation, and the brothers here at the panel. A call is from God. Shalom, brothers. Thank you. Let us go for a short break. Then we shall come back for more details about vocation. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much. Subscribe.
Until we're happy. Until we're happy. Until we're
God has not called you. I like that narrative that has come from my brothers. And the way they were bringing the Bible quotation, meaning a call comes from God. So, dear brothers, how do you know that God is calling you? Because it is something I want to understand. Maybe God might be calling me in this vocation, and you said single is a vocation, marriage is vocation, and priesthood is vocation. So, bro, how do you know that you're being called?
To me, how you can know that you're being called is why you see your heart is so passionate too. I think that is to me, you are called in that way.
Yes, you're saying that your heart is passionate, but remember, God will not just meet you on the way and then maybe God says, I am now calling you, come to me. But to know that your call you need to take time to discern, to concentrate in prayers, and also seeking spiritual guidance from this person and the other from spiritual directions, and also from your personal evaluation. Can evaluate, maybe I'm good at this, I'm good at this. That one can help you to know that now I'm being called, and then you can follow.
Pia, you want me that praying a lot every day shows that God is calling you to...
It's not about praying every day, but you have a purposeful prayer. Maybe I go for a prayer, say that maybe I'm praying for this mission. Then you have a quiet time to discern and also to evaluate how are you seeing God in your prayers? How do you find? And then you share with maybe a priest or with any other person for spiritual direction.
Yes, Herbert.
Okay, to discover your call, you know, in this contemporary world, there's a lot of noise. There's a way you can also cultivate a culture of inner silence. You talk to yourself, perhaps in prayers. You remove yourself from that noise, from social media and so forth. You create your own time and talk to your God, and from that can help you discover your vocation. I remember the story of Elijah, that is in 1 Kings chapter 19, whereby Isaiah expected God to come in earthquakes, but God came in whispers. So it's a manifestation that God talks to us through silence. So cultivating that inner silence is very, very helpful. It's very, very instrumental in discovering your vocation.
Yes. I think you cultivating that inner silence is a very good word to note also as far as vocation is concerned.
Yes, and since you are going for Lent, this is a quiet time. We are going for a desert experience. So it's better we maintain some silence in our heart. We get away from the busy world, from the social media, and then we have enough time during this desert experience, these 40 days. Have enough time to discern and have enough time to pray with God, and have enough time to talk to God, and then at least concentrate your mind in praying, and then by the end of 40 days find that at least you must have gotten a voice that maybe God is calling you.
Yes, bro. Don't you think also in a noisy place you can discover your vocation? Like if I'm being called like to become a musician, do you think I need a quiet place to go and meditate on how to become a musician, or I just go practical? I see how they are doing it, and I find myself loving it without even like expecting much from people.
Yes, I think on that point, talent is also another big thing. Because even your talent can also be another part that maybe I am being called. If you see that maybe you are so like if you meet some priests who have come and talk to them, you'll find that by the time they're coming, they were doing those things of celebrating mass within them. So even you, from what your passion, that's why I said one of the things is self-evaluation. So you can look into your talent, can also be another source that you are being called.
Just to add something on your point of talents, you know, God does not just call us randomly. He grants us gifts for you to discover your vocation, talents to discover your vocation. At times you may find that you are good in chemistry, and you feel that's a guarantee for you to be a chemist. Or you find you are good in biology, and you feel like you need to pursue a profession which involves biology. So the talents, the gifts are what God gives us to discover our vocation.
That talent will remind me about those fishermen who were at lake fishing, and Jesus called them. It is also a vocation in the Bible. I don't know which gospel you can remind me about it, but then how was it that now, if you relate it to the real world now?
Now, to the real world now, God can pick you from the busy works that you're doing. Let's say maybe, just as I said, you're maybe a medical doctor. God picks you from somewhere, come and treat my people. So that you stop only treating the body, then you start treating the soul. Remember, these people, they were fishing to feed the needs of a family. But here God is calling them, come and feed the soul of the whole world. And God is picking them from their weakness. So God picks you. If God calls you, God himself qualifies you to be he whom he wants to send you.
Do you think when Jesus called these fishermen, he saw a talent in them that they can, as they can fish well, they can also try to go and fish the men very well, like the way they fish from the lake.
Yes, because he who can manage to suffer in the deep water. Remember, they had gone for the whole night without getting. So when God knew this, that if I put them to fetch my people, they are the real people. So that also calls for passion in what you are doing.
It is a very good experience this very evening when brothers are sharing with us more about the word vocation. It is bringing it to my attention that even someone who is working, who is a policeman, can be called by God. I don't know if that policeman think also if it is a vocation, but I think in the line of with the way you've shared, it is also work, it is a call to do something. I think it is also a vocation. I know in this vocation there are some challenges that are found maybe if you, after being called. Can you share with us more about the challenges that can be found there?
Okay, about challenges in discovering our vocation. Sometimes we have social pressure from our friends, from our families, whereby you feel you need to pursue this vocation, but they discourage you. Someone tells you, bro, you can't. So like, okay, you say what you like to be a priest. Your parents, they tell you, bro, you're the only child, you're the only son I have in the family. So for that case, I can't allow you to pursue that vocation. So it is kind of a hindrance to vocation. And another challenge might be financial constraints. You may find that you feel your call is to be like a lawyer, but to be a lawyer, it is a process. It requires a process. You may find that you don't have all those necessary requirements, all those financial requirements to help you pursue your vocation. So it's a very big hindrance. Financial constraint is a very big hindrance.
Yeah. Thank you. A parent can fail from getting your vocation, but if you want something, I guess you can insist. You pray to God, as you say, that vocations come from God. How do you say about that, Brother Popio?
Vocation comes from God. Think of it like we say the marriage life. You need of getting married. You start thinking, how will I get a girlfriend? How dowries and so on. You don't have what to do, but still you have to jump in because that is what you feel God has called you. Think of Saint Peter. Most of the time, Saint Peter speaks from nowhere, and then Jesus confirms this is it. So what matters? Have the vision, put the confidence, persistence. Everything will be okay. If you're not qualified, once God has called you, God qualifies you to be for that which you have done.
I thank you, Pio, for that enlightenment. Brother, do you think respecting our parents is a commandment? If you disrespect them in going for vocation, don't you see that you're going away from the commandments of the Lord? Brother, you can just briefly about that.
To me, sometimes when they say respecting parents, it doesn't mean all that you have to respect them in every other things that they can tell you, because there are some other things that can go against your will. Like now, what I can advise the parents that when they see a child growing up, they have to discover that this child, I think, loves driving. This child loves going for mass. This child loves maybe trying to play with the animals. So perhaps he's being called to become a shepherd. Perhaps this child is being called maybe to become maybe a king somewhere, maybe a president, a good leader. So I see, like, when you disrespect a parent in maybe where your heart is passionate, it's not all that a sin. That is to me. Maybe my brother Alfred, if he can have something.
Yeah, thank you, brother, about that. Our esteemed viewers, you've heard from my brothers here sharing about more the word vocation, what it means. Those follow us on the page PCJ Online, subscribe, and you follow all what is taking place. And for those who are sending messages, we are receiving them. And with my brothers, the questions are yet going to be answered very well. For our online call is open. You're free to call, and our brothers are very right here to answer you. Yes. Hello. Yes, you're very online. We have a call online. Yes, hello.
Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. I am Anthony. I'm calling from the Savite community, and I'd like to ask one question.
Yes, thank you, Anthony. You're most welcome. You're free to answer. You're free to ask the question.
My question will go specifically to the brother in the middle from the Declaration community.
Yeah, how about yes?
And the question goes, you told us very good information about vocation. What message do you have for someone outside there who wants to pursue a vocation but is not well guided? What steps can that person take so that they can be guided in their vocation?
Yeah. Thank you, Kola. It is a very good and beautiful question for this evening. And Herbert is ready to answer. You get satisfied with your question. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, Herbert. Kola is requesting to know more about the steps to take with vocation. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Kola. It is a very good and beautiful question for this evening, and Herbert is ready to answer. You get satisfied with your question. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, Herbert. Kola is requesting to know more about the steps to take with vocation. Thank you. Thank you, Kola. It is a very good.
Discuss the process of how someone can discover his or her vocation. So my humble advice to that person would be, first of all, to engage in time of prayer, to communicate to God, because this vocation is from God. So prayer is the only means through which we talk to God. So that kind of person engages in prayer, in communication with God, to discover his vocation. And of course, there are always those doubts. Is it really a calling from God? Sometimes we doubt that way. So such kind of person can be advised to go to a mentor, like my brother said, a spiritual father, to help him. Like, okay, if the person feels the call is in a profession of, let me say, law, this person can be advised to link up with a lawyer, and the lawyer helps him or her to discover that vocation. Because sometimes we doubt whether, because of low self-esteem.
Yes.
So sometimes you doubt whether you can manage this vocation, whether it's really a call from God. Until you go to someone, the person helps you discover your vocation.
Yes.
It's like a story of St. Paul, whereby he was guided by Ananias. You get the point?
Yes.
So I think my brothers can add something on that question. A very beautiful question from Anthony Savard of Mary.
Thank you, Anthony. I guess your question has been answered very well, and you've gotten enlightenment from Herbert how you can go about that vocation. Our callers, please. It is very on. You can still call and send messages on our YouTube handle, on our Facebook handle. It is ready to be answered. Subscribe. You keep tuned. We want to thank our people, our very people behind the camera. Thank you. You've done a very great job this evening. And don't get tired with the PCJ Online, everything that will be there. Our sponsors there. I want to give more gratitude to Father Prasid. He has done a very great job in as far as with this PCJ Online TV is concerned. Great thanks to Father Akain. That man is a very good. He's doing a very great job in the mission. And not forgetting Queen of Peace Philosophy Center, Ginger. The administration of Queen of Apostles Philosophy Center, Ginger. Great thanks for all the support you're putting in to make this session move ahead. The media team behind the camera, Brian behind the camera, Ronald behind the camera, Bruno behind the camera, Anthony behind the camera, Mr. Rogers behind the camera, all directed by Father Prasid. We want to thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and all your questions concerning vocation will be answered as you get more enlightenment. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening. Shalom.
Bye.